I am trying to make these for YouTube as well to make it easier to find my channel and whatnot. So welcome. If you're new here, we like to learn. We like to explore software. And today we're going to see if we can't get this AI to interview me. And if you'd like to stick around and see how it is, there's this new AI called GPT-vetting that's here to, it's the GPT of your nightmares. Not only do you get to do a technical interview, you get to do it in front of an AI. Now, there's a lot of experiments I want to run with this. Like, I also would like to see if I can't bias it, if we can't, be like overly sweet, overly nice, or whatnot, and get it to hire us, even while failing the things that maybe we said we wanted to see. So let's get into it. Let's give it a shot. This morning, we're only going to do a first cursory glance. We're just going to take a real interview. We're going to give it our best shot, and we're going to see what happens. Then later on this week, I don't know how many credits I have, but I'm going to use as many credits as I can to experiment as much as I can without paying the $150 a month that they'd like. So let's invite a candidate and see how this does. Now, my assumption is that GPT vetting is kind of like your recruiter. It's kind of asking those questions. It's not actually getting into the technical thing, but I don't know. I haven't done it before, so this is all going to be, it's kind of like a live reaction, except I'm actually going to get interviewed. All right, so let's do it. All right, we're going to invite a candidate. So this is just like the dashboard. Yeah, I have account executive. Okay. Cool. All right. GPT vetting. Let's invite a candidate. Let's see. Company logo. Don't have one. Okay. Yeah. Welcome screen. Okay. Interesting. I don't need to edit the content. Yep. Let's continue. Do you want to predefine the skills to test? Yes, I will define the skills. Yes, please. All right. Define a new skill. Enter skill. Well, we need Kubernetes. Let's do Kubernetes. A level of difficulty. We'll just do mid. We'll do mid on all of these because it's early morning for me and I haven't prepared for an interview. I'm not doing senior level. We'll try to do senior level some other time. Okay, I don't know what. All right, we can only add up to 5 skills. Okay, we'll need Rust for sure. Again, mid. Let's add Go because we just need this to be a well-rounded junior in Go. Let's see. What is another skill? Twitch chat gets to pick one skill. Twitch, you guys get to pick one skill. While I'm working on this skill, the last skill, I want to do something around cloud architecture. What would be a good cloud? I could just do cloud. That seems bad. I don't love this. What do they have? One second. I'm going to really quickly. It got okay. One second. Kubernetes, Rust, cloud architectures. Is SQL what you guys want? I'm gonna fail this one. Okay, I haven't written an SQL statement in a little while. I'm gonna fail it, but we'll fail it together. All right, last one. We don't need to do a second language. That just seems overly redundant. All right, so we have cloud architecture, SQL. What about? We're gonna throw this in there just because you guys know how much it will annoy me. Microservices. There we go. Please fill all the fields. Ask the same questions to all candidates for the test. The GPT-vetting tool generates unique. Now we want unique. Add unique questions. Any custom question you'd like to add that's company specific, feel free to add here. Add a custom question. How would you rate my hair today? Perfect. All right. Please at least add one skill. I added several skills. What is it wanting me to do? I can't save this. I added these. Oh, you know what? I bet you it's upset about this right here. Okay. It was upset about it. Standard Kate's knowledge. Save. All right. Did you enjoy being interviewed by no one? All right. Invite manually? Yeah. We'll invite manually. Merrick counts done. You know what? It did just show my email, but I'm going to do a cone of silence. I need to get it to stop doing that. That's annoying. Very annoying. We're going to throw mine in there. My email is probably public knowledge at this point, but please do not spam it. I will be annoyed. Ooh, look at this. It does say add coding exercise and use video-based data and tab movements to generate a trust score and prevent cheating. Ooh, okay. So we're going to put that on there. We're going to see how much we can cheat by using a GPT at some point in the future. Because I use i3, I think I can get away with cheating because I use i3. Okay, that's one thing we're going to have to test out. Send invitation. I was successfully invited. We're going to go check that out. 1 second, cone of silence still activated. Start assessment. It will only take 20 minutes and they're going to do coding exercise in 20 minutes. I'm not sure I'm up for this, but here we go. Please watch the below video to understand how the GPT vetting assignment works. Important. Do we have audio up? We do have audio up.
This is Ali, founder of Micro One. We built GPT vetting to allow companies to assess candidates accurately, and we are allowing candidates to have a smooth test experience to showcase their skills to companies. In this video, I'm going to go through the test experience to give you a bit of an idea on how this looks like before you actually start the test. The way it works is you fill out your basic details first. In this case, let's put an email, put your phone number, and in some cases, companies are going to have some custom questions that they've added to the GPT vetting assessment. You go ahead and answer those. And then you add your top
those custom questions I thought were going to be at the end, not at the beginning. My goodness, that the help text was not very good at that. So, dang it. Okay.
Skills that you want to be tested on. If let's say as a senior, where we generate interview camera as well as microphone, we only use this information to generate a trust score and prevent cheating and nothing else. Here, click on share screen and start test.
Trust me, that's all we use it for. That's all. That's it. Give me all your information.
The first question is going to be a demo question. So in this case, can you describe the difference between a class component and a functional component in React? You click on start recording, you answer the question verbally, minutes and 30 seconds. First demo question, you then go through the real ones, which again is 2 per skill, as well as 2
so it's all audio. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
That we provided. And then there's going to be questions on project management, the language you want to write in, and the requirements are described.
Oh gosh, I'm going to have to code this morning.
You have one chance to read quality, but don't worry too much about syntax or the input-output. Also, feel free to test your code with hard-coded values since the coding environment does not support inputs. So you can console log, you can print stuff, call the function manually, and whatever you see fit. And again, don't worry about the input and outputs too much.
I wonder if they support
Once you have written the code, you can run it, test it, and then test it with your own,
So We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. Okay. I have so many questions with this. I do have a lot of questions with this. I'm gonna just wait and hold my questions because, like, one, do they even have Rust? I didn't realize this. We might have to interview a couple of times as we explore the functionalities because they might not support Rust, like a compiled language, in their little thing. So they've obviously put in quite a bit of work into this. This is actually a little bit more well thought out than I thought it was going to be honest. So let's go in. It's interesting that they take microphone. They take the recording. That's interesting. Yes, I watched it. It was a little boring. What's your name? Merrick Counts. Thank you for doxing me again. Thank you so much. That was amazing. Do I have to give a phone number? I do have to give a phone number. I'm going to give a fake phone number. Do they validate the phone number? I don't think they do. There are some places you can't give a fake phone number because they actually validate that it could be a possible phone number. And unless if I stumbled on a possible phone number, okay, that I just dox somebody else. All right. Please note that this test is timed. You will have 2.5 minutes per questions and 15 minutes for the coding exercise. Does that mean they're going to ask me 2 questions? They said 20 minutes. And I've already wasted 5. You will answer each question verbally. You know what? I didn't update my gosh dang it. Let me update my title. An AI interviews me. All right. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised because I doubt I actually typed in. I have tried to type in a not real phone number many of times and gotten rejected for not a real phone number. So I'm kind of, it's possible I typed in a real phone number. But anyways, let's go. Let's go. Main skills. Begin test as, I actually put these in. So I have predefined skill sets. So that's actually interesting. So I kind of like these. I said that I wanted to test these, but they also said that you could just leave all these empty and basically see what the person thought they were best at and test them on the person's best skills. So maybe in the future we'll try that as well. I don't know how many times I get to interview people, but we'll keep trying until they tell me not to. Check camera, mic, and screen share. I don't have a video source to this computer. It's going to my streaming computer. I don't have one. I don't think it likes Dark Reader. I think we have a problem. It didn't ask to share. Okay, I had to click speak. Okay, I had to click speak. There we go. Now we have a microphone going. Hello. I had to click speak. There we go. Now we have a microphone going. It plays it back.
Hello.
Okay. Okay, well, I still can't select, but it's at least working. All right, share screen and start the test. We're unable to find a camera or webcam. We're unable to find a camera or webcam on your device. You will need to be able to use another device that has a camera to take the test, or try restarting your browser. It doesn't allow me to click from this. All right, hello? Yes. All right. Hello. All right. No video source for my webcam. Well, I can. You know what? I'm going to go dark on stream. 1 second. I got to plug my camera into my computer to get interviewed. 1 second. It says without camera or screen. I guess let me try this. It's thinking about it. It's thinking about it. Maybe it's ghosting me now. Maybe I'm getting ghosted by the AI. What's worse, getting ghosted by a human or getting ghosted by a machine? I feel like getting ghosted by the machine is worse. I was going to say, I feel like getting ghosted by the AI is worse now. Oh, this website isn't as well thought out as I thought it was at first. It's a little rough still. Well, Dane, would you like to take... would you like... I don't know what it's waiting for. Like, I think it wants my screen share, but I can't accept screen share because it hasn't asked for screen share. Oh, do you think it's building the interview right now? I'll give it a little bit more time. Maybe it's building the interview. Ooh, let's check out the... It's going to detect me as hacking. Failed to load resources. The response... We have 1404 maybe. All right. So what I'm going to do is, you know what? Maybe we hit an edge case. They've never not had the video. It's brand new. They've never clicked on that button. So I'm going to go switch my camera around. I'll go dark on this side. I'll give them a camera and we'll see if that fixes this problem. I'll be right back. And it is... It's compiling. I shouldn't have put Rust, okay? That was my fault. My bad. I mean, so my assumption here, and yes, I am here, and yes, there's a black box, and I don't have a screen without the black box. My bad. My assumption here is that if it was supposed to take this long, they should have warned. They should have put text that said, this could take 5 minutes. And we've already given it 5 minutes. So we're going to refresh this again really quickly. 1 second, just so I don't dox myself. Oh, there's a perfectly black screen. All right, we're back. Select video source. Allow. So now we got... You guys can still get to see me. Am I cheating? No, I'm not cheating because you see my face. Are they looking for like eye movements? Like, I don't know. Okay, we'll just... Are you getting my default input? This better work. If this doesn't work, we're in trouble. Let's share screen and start the test. It's the video. They wanted video. Okay, so let's it's this one. Yeah. Yeah, it's this one. Share. Multiple monitors detected. We have detected multiple monitors. Please disconnect the extra monitor or devices. If you continue without disconnecting, Micro One will store details of the device. Oh. Okay, so first, doesn't work without video. Even though they have a button that says it does, doesn't do it. Continue with multiple monitors. Test guidelines. Am I that ugly? Am I that ugly? What? I feel like I actually have this well lit. Like this is like a 1080p. It's actually 4K downsampled into 1080p. Like this is the best quality you're going to get. Okay. If you can't detect this, I think you're going to struggle. It also has great separation from the background, like because the background's dark. Ooh, what an AI. Let's, if you see a black screen, it's mostly a camera. Check your device's camera and see yourself clear. I can see myself clearly. Okay, I'm looking at the camera. I'm going to click next. I have plenty of light on my face. I mean, the rest of the room is kind of dark. Are they worried that other people are watching me test? My background is plain. I guess I couldn't tell where my face was. I feel like, ooh, I don't know that this is going very well. I don't. Okay, it like worst thing here is it's failing the test without it even being part of the test. Like at this point, I would not send this to a candidate knowing it's in this condition. Like whether you agree with GPT vetting or not, like the concept of it or not. And honestly, I almost think that this is better than having a recruiter do some of this stuff. I don't know yet, but I was actually going into with the thought in my mind that this could be better than a computer doing it. But at this point, or a recruiter doing it. But at this point, I'm like, no, the user experience is so bad. Anyways, all right. I'm not doing that. I am looking at the camera. No outside help. There was nobody in the background helping me, cheering me on. I needed that moral support, though. Let's start the test. Oh my gosh, another pop-up. First question is a demo question. You already said that in your thing. Start demo question.
Hello. This is a demo question to get you familiar with the environment. Can you briefly explain your background?
My background is mostly in YouTubing and providing subpar content on Twitch and YouTube. You can follow, like, subscribe, whatever you're doing right now. I just pointed at the camera. Oh, I am visible now. I'm visible. Hey, everybody. Okay, let's continue. Submit and continue.
Great job. You have successfully completed the demo question.
I wonder if all their work
you are ready to answer the real questions.
Was getting interviewed by a pre-adolescent. Like, did all their work go into making a AI pre-adolescent interview you? You couldn't have made this a middle-aged person. It had to be somebody that's like 13. If that's not creeping other people out, maybe it's me. It's kind of creeping me out.
Imagine you're tasked with designing a Kubernetes-based solution for a stateful application that requires high availability and data persistence across multiple zones. How would you approach the architecture, and what specific Kubernetes resources would you leverage to ensure both high availability and data persistence?
Imagine you're tasked with designing a Kubernetes-based solution. I'm going to actually try. A Kubernetes-based solution for a stateful application that requires high availability. You want me to do this in 2 minutes? Okay, that requires high availability and data persistence across multiple zones. How would you approach the architecture, and what specific Kubernetes resource would you leverage to ensure both a high availability and data persistence? Oh, okay. The answer depends on a lot of things that you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to access really fast writes and reads, you're going to have to look at NVMe storage, which is transient on most clouds. If you're looking at your AWS and whatnot on their Kubernetes-based clusters. Me personally, I have most experience with EKS on AWS. And on there, your M5Ds, extra larges actually have persistent disk that you can use. With this on Kubernetes, you can use your stateful sets inside Kubernetes to provide a stateful with ordinals. Oh my gosh, this time limit is killing me. But the ordinals that allow you to manage your stateful application and also run workloads across different availability zones, multiple availability zones, letting you have resiliency from a single availability zone outage. On top of this, when you're talking about data, you'd have to talk about how you have partitioned and as well as how many replicas you keep, because not only do you need to have your stateful sets spread across availability zone, but your application is going to need to be designed in such a way where those availability zones, your replicas are spread out across those availability zones as well. Yeah. Thanks for joining me.
Get ready for the next question.
I'm ready.
Given a scenario where you've deployed a new version of a microservice in Kubernetes, and shortly after, you notice an increase in error rates and latency, how would you diagnose and troubleshoot this issue within the Kubernetes ecosystem? Please walk through your process step by step, including any specific tools or commands you might use.
All right, so the first thing that I would do is check my logs. I'm sure that if I've designed it, there's a centralized log in place as well as metrics. The metrics is how we know that we have error rates and latencies. The logs is the next place I'm going to look to try and understand what is happening in our distributed system. Now, hopefully from those logs, I found a place to investigate. And in that investigation, we're going to start looking at individual pods and individual pods. On top of that, you said that there was a new version of the microservice. So we can make the assumption that something in the new deployment. So we can also diff. If we're using GitOps, which is one of my favorite things, you can diff the two deployments and see exactly what changed between versions of deployments and start to validate that across what you see with your logs. So you never want to trust one point of information. You want to try to see the big picture when debugging these types of things. So in this example here, we're going to take those logs, take what we deployed, exactly what changed, and we're going to try to start painting a bigger picture. Now, there's a bunch of different tools that we can start doing, whether we have liveness probes, whether we can use kubectl or a tool like K9s to look at our Kubernetes cluster and check the states of different things running. We can look at our pods that are running the microservice to see if we have crash loop backoffs, if we have any other errors coming up from the pods. We can also check our networking. So any of the different things in networking, when you said latency, I thought networking popped up. So one, I would check if our new deployment had anything to change with networking. And then I would check our networking pods to see if they had any elevated errors, logs, or anything telling us that maybe there's a networking issue. Whew, I was not prepared for this. This is not how I want to start my mornings.
Let's continue to the next question. Given Rust's emphasis on safety and zero-cost abstractions, how would you approach designing a memory-efficient, high-performance data structure in Rust? Discuss your thought process, from choosing the right types and traits to ensuring the data structure aligns with Rust's safety guarantees and efficiency principles.
This is a trick question. Like, it's so vague. This question is too vague for me to answer correctly, right? They want a data structure, but what does the data structure do? So the first thing when designing a data structure is you need to understand what a data structure does. So my first question, if you could answer, would be, what is the goal of the data structure? Is it a iterable? Because then that would be a really good thing to ensure that if you want to be able to iterate over it or as a collection of types, there are a whole set of traits that we would want to implement and ensure are implemented. The next thing that you're talking about with a high performance data structure is concurrency. How is this going to be accessed, and what type of guarantees do we need to give for access in this data structure? Those are some of the big main things. And then obviously you have your memory and how memory is dealt with, again, across threads. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's my thought process, and I'm honestly a little confused as to where to go with this question any further, honestly. It's very open-ended, and I would need to have a real honest conversation with somebody to dig further into it. Rust provides memory safety and zero-cost abstractions, yes, but those are inherent in the Rust language. It's not something you have to bake into when thinking about it. When you're thinking about lifetimes and whatnot, you're more thinking about how you leverage how you would leverage your data object. So, yeah, I'm going to give that up. I failed that question. I'm not sure. I honestly don't know how to answer that one.
Let's move on to the next question. Imagine you're tasked with improving the performance of a Rust application that heavily relies on concurrent data processing. Describe how you would leverage Rust's ownership model and its type system to enhance both the safety and efficiency of the application's concurrent operations.
I think this is another trick question because Rust's ownership model and type safety would inherently enhance the application's concurrent operations. You don't have to leverage them to do it. That is what they are there to do. Unless if you're saying that the entire application was written in a large unsafe block, and in that case, I would say remove the unsafe block and leverage the inherent safety and efficiencies of the of Rust's ownership and type system to enhance the safety of your application.
Okay, get ready for the next question. Given the importance of cost optimization in cloud architectures, can you discuss a situation where you had to optimize the costs of a cloud deployment without sacrificing performance? Please detail the strategies you employed, the challenges you faced, and the outcome of your efforts.
This is a good question. I don't think 2 minutes and 30 seconds is appropriate. This is a really good question, actually. I like this question. So the very first thing that you have to do when talking about cost optimization is understanding your cost. Understanding what costs, how it costs, and why you spend on it. After you've done that, after you've gathered that data, now you can actually accurately do cost savings. And this is a really big deal because costs can fluctuate month by month based off of usage. And so if you don't have that and there was a drop off in users, or let's say there was an increase in users month over month, which is what you're hoping for, and you pay the exact same the next month, you've actually done a great job cost savings because you're now supporting more users or more video streams or whatever your metrics are for less money. So that's a very first step in doing cost optimization, is making sure you metric what those costs are, because the total spend is not an acceptable one. All right, once you do that and you're wanting to not sacrifice performance, obviously there's always trade-offs. No matter what you do, there's always trade-offs. And what you have to understand is what trade-off isn't acceptable. So if performance isn't, so memory performance isn't acceptable, then you have to trade off CPU performance or something like that. There's always going to be a trade-off in these. A lot of the times, what in cost optimization, you trade off performance with engineering time. So maybe we're using Kubernetes right now, and there's wasted resources in overhead for Kubernetes that we could get rid of. And getting rid of that is going to take an engineering time. And so the second step of cost optimization is finding where you're going to get the most bang for your buck from your engineers. So where are your engineers going to make the biggest difference, save you the most with the least amount of their time? I think that's the best I could do with 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And that 2 minutes and 30 seconds includes them speaking and like slowly writing out the question. I don't know. I feel like that was not a great answer, but
Okay.
I know they wanted
Let's
a concrete
continue to the
example,
next
but you have
question.
2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Imagine a scenario where you are tasked with designing a cloud architecture for a highly available web application that must handle unexpected surges in traffic. Can you walk us through your thought process on how to architect the solution, specifically focusing on the choice of cloud services and how you would ensure scalability and reliability?
All right, so when you're talking about describing an architecture where there is a highly available web application that requires, and I think this is the key, unexpected surges in traffic. So if you're planning on an unexpected surges, which means there's no way to pre-scale or anything like that, you have to have a very elastic service where your hardware and software can grow organically and shrink, because if it can't shrink, you're going to cost yourself quite a bit, because I'm assuming those unexpected surges also wane after a time as well. So one of the biggest deals, I'm going to look for a platform and service that allows me to do that. One of the first ones that comes to mind off the top of my head this early in the morning would be Kubernetes and their horizontal pod autoscalers. It's going to allow me, especially in something like AWS's EKS, scale my hardware and my software on top of it very easily. The other thing that I'm going to do is stateless service, not microservices, but stateless service. So I'm going to store all my storage, all my data. I'm going to store all my application state in a database. And that way I can scale my database separately from my applications. This allows my applications to be replicated and create another one on another machine if I need it. It allows for very simple horizontal auto scaling, which is very important for a really big burst in traffic, to be able to add new machines to your pool of machines, to your cluster. So I'm going to look for something like that. The next thing is that you need to have a very highly scalable database and or a cache that you can put in front of that database. So those are going to be some really important topics to talk about. 2 minutes and 30 seconds is not enough time for this topic. That's what I'm saying.
Understood. Let's move on to the next question. Given a scenario where a microservices architecture is suffering from
these are
frequent and
garbage
unpredictable
answers.
failures,
I'm not
how
giving
would
good
you
answers.
approach identifying and resolving
But
these issues?
I feel like these are
including
in a
your
full
answer
hour interview.
considerations for logging, monitoring, and communication between services.
Wait, I wasn't paying attention. Given a scenario where microservice architecture is suffering from frequent and unprotected, how would you approach identifying and resolving these issues? Including your answers considering logging, monitoring, and communication. Okay. All right. So logging is super important to have. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, my brain just slipped. All right. So when you're talking about microservices, there's a lot of things that are in play. First thing is you want a correlation ID. Basically, can be a lot of communication between microservices based on the same event or request from the front end. So this correlation ID is going to help you map that request through your microservice architecture. And it's going to also allow you to search for logs that specifically relate to that correlation ID. And this is going to let you filter and search through your logs and find the relevant information, because especially when something like this, time is of the essence. The ability for your engineers to quickly identify and find and resolve the issue is very important. So the other thing that you can do here is the communication between services. I love event-based architectures, and there's a lot of reasons that we can go into event-based architectures, but think, Kafka topics is a common one, but there's Amazon SQS, there's SMS, there's SQS, SMS. There's quite a few different services out there that provide these type of architectures. One of the really nice things about this is once you've had one of these scenarios, where there's a bad type of message or something like that, you can actually make this a replayable event and add it to your integration tests, allowing you to replay these events that caused this issue through your testing suite, providing more robust deployments going forward. The ears are so big because it hasn't gone through puberty yet, and so he hasn't grown into the ears. Is mostly why.
Understood. Get ready for the next question.
He understands. Oh, gosh.
Imagine you are tasked with designing a new feature for an existing microservices-based application that requires data consistency across several services. Describe your approach to ensuring data integrity and consistency without compromising the independence and scalability of individual services.
Imagine you're tasked with designing a new feature for an existing microservice-based application that requires data consistency across several services. When creating a new feature, it's very important understanding the sovereignty of data. You'd never want to mix microservices sovereignty. So if a microservice owns a piece of data, they own it. Another microservice can request that data, but they're also not going to write to that data store. So it's very important. My general rule of thumb is if you have a new microservice, you have a new data store for that microservice. So generally when you're talking about this and requiring data consistency, that's how you do it. Excuse me. Is by having one microservice own that information. And this makes it kind of simple. It's almost kind of like the functional programming, a way of doing it. You can copy that data other places, but that data is in one place. So my general approach would be that, don't mix and match. Let's see, without compromising independence and scalability. Yeah, as long as you do that, you never compromise the independence. My new service can ask for the data that it wants and needs. And if it needs it again, it can ask again. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Sorry, I'm not paying attention too much to chat. I apologize. You know what?
Understood.
Let me move this out of the way.
Let's continue to the next question. Given a scenario where you have a table employee with columns, employee_ID, name, manager_ID,
I'm getting
where
interviewed.
manager_ID references employee_ID for those who are managers. How would you construct a SQL query to retrieve a list of employees who do not report to anyone, and can you explain the logic behind your query construction?
I told you guys I was going to fail at the SQL. I told you I was going to fail. So this seems like, okay, let me pause. Deep breath. Okay, so basically we have employee IDs, name, and manager ID, where manager ID refers employee ID for those who are managers. How would you construct an SQL query to retrieve a list of employees who do not report to anyone? And can you explain All right, so this is a pretty simple example. Basically, you would just look for, you would create a query where you select all employees where they do not have a manager ID. If I understood their question correctly. I don't know. That seems really simple. If I understood it correctly, I don't think I do.
Let's move on to
Did
the
they
next
want me to
question.
write the SQL? I don't know.
Imagine you are given a database with 2 tables, orders, with columns,
I'm getting
order
interviewed
underscore
right
ID,
now.
customer underscore ID,
By myself.
order underscore date, amount,
This was supposed to take 20 minutes. I'm 40 minutes in. I'm 40 minutes into a 20-minute
customer
interview.
underscore name, customer underscore email.
That's another
How would you
thing
write
that
a
I'm going
SQL
to put
query
on
to
this
find the
is
total amount spent by each customer, along with the customer's name and email, and also ensure the results are sorted by the total amount spent in descending order?
2 tables, orders, orders, and customers. How would you write an SQL query to find the total amount spent by each customer, along with the customer's name and email? So you're going to do a really quick join on this. So what you can do is you can create another table in memory where you join the orders and customers, and you're going to be able to join these 2 tables on customer ID, since that's actually the thing that you have on this. And then you can do to find out how much they've spent in total, assuming that they can have multiple records in orders, they can have multiple orders. You can do a sum on that for each customer ID. Group. I forgot to say group. Group and then sum. My goodness. Yep. I failed that.
Noted. Get ready for the next question.
I forgot the group part.
Can you share an experience where you had to adapt your communication style to effectively convey a message
You only
to a
have
team
2.5
member from
minutes.
a different cultural or professional background? How did you ensure your message was understood?
Oh, it did say sorting, didn't it? Can you explain, share an experience where you had to adapt your communication style to effectively convey a message to a team member from a different cultural? This feels like a trap question. I'm not going to lie. You can't answer this properly. You can't win answering this. I don't like this question. When talking to other team members, it's always important that you're respectful to their backgrounds, as well as clear and effective in communication. This means that you use language and ensure that you don't use esoteric words that are hard to understand, and you try to find common understanding in common words. It's always important when talking to somebody to be cognizant of their feelings on topics and subjects, and to ensure that that you're communicating in an effective style. This goes for everyone, where everybody, even if they're not from different cultures even if they're not from different cultures, have different communication styles that they understand better. So it's always really important to be cognizant of the person you're talking to, their communication style, their command of the language you both speak and share in common, and make sure that you're speaking it to the best of your ability for them. I don't know. That's a garbage question.
Noted. Let's continue to the next question. Tell me about a project or task where you faced significant unexpected changes. How did you handle the situation, and what was the outcome? Additionally, how did this experience influence your approach to change and uncertainty in your work?
As software engineers, we all have become accustomed to unexpected change. Change seems to be the one thing that we can hold dear to. So one of the things that I find when I'm dealing with change is understanding that change is inevitable, and change isn't always bad. So sometimes we have us as humans have the knee-jerk reaction to assume change is bad, especially if we're somewhat comfortable in what we're doing. I once went through a really rough time where I almost got laid off and inevitably ended up leaving the company that I was working at. And the thing that came out of that was I actually went to a job that I liked better. Even though the change was scary at the start, it turns out that change isn't always bad. It's not always the thing that is there for bad. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. So the first step is understanding that change can be good. Also, the other thing that I like to point out and how I have started to adapt to unexpected change is that it's good to be changing. It's good for me to be growing. If I'm growing, then I'm changing. And if I'm growing and changing, that means the things around me are going to start changing. What people expect from me is going to change. As I grow as a YouTuber, people expect me to make higher quality YouTube videos because I get better at it. And that's a good thing. So change can and should be a good thing.
All right, let's move on to the next question. How would you rate my hair today?
Yes! 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 Your hair is fantastic. I wish that mine was like that. You nailed it. You nailed it this morning. I need to know what hair products you're using because mine just does not effortlessly stay like that. It's fantastic. Thank you very much.
All right, get ready for the next question. Congratulations. You've completed answering all verbal questions. Now, proceed to the final step, a coding exercise. Please note that an AI model will review your code as a whole, so don't worry too much about
input-output syntax. Did you guys hear that whistle, like that high-pitched sound?
Feel free to test your code with hard-coded values, as the coding environment doesn't support inputs.
Like when he speaks, there's this is bad quality audio coming from them. I do not love it. Okay. Guys, this was supposed to be a 20-minute interview. I am 45 minutes into my 20-minute interview. Yeah, there's some high frequency, and it's annoying the garbage out of me. Inventory management system. You are tasked with developing an inventory management system for retail. JavaScript, no thank you. Oh, they do have Rust. My goodness. This is cool. You could do it in whatever language you want. Okay, we could do Go 113. 113? We don't even have Go with generics 118. This isn't even a 1.5 year. This is an 8-year-old Go? What? What? 8-year-old Go? No, thank you. Rust 140? I don't know how old that is. I don't know when was Rust 140 made? Rust 140 release date. 2019? So 5-year-old Rust? 5-year-old Rust? I don't know about this. I don't know. Okay, well, anyways, let's keep trudging forward. I'm wasting my time. Right, we're on 1.7. So Go is pretty easy because Go releases a minor version every 6 months. So it's just, I don't remember when 113 is released. I can just know that we're on 122 and every 2 minor releases is a year. I don't know about Rust. Rust might follow something like that, but yeah, we're on 175. I think the next release is 175. So yeah, this is 5-year-old Rust. My goodness. Inventory management system. You're tasked with developing an inventory management system for a retail store. The system should allow your store manager to keep track of the products in the inventory, including their quantities, prices. Quantities and prices. The system should support the following operations. Add a new product to the inventory with its name, quantity, and price. 2. Update the quantity of a project in the inventory. Calculate the total value of the inventory. Find the product with the highest quantity in the inventory. Implement the inventory management system using a data structure of your choice, array, linked list, or queue, to effectively store and manage the product information. The system should be able to handle multiple products and perform the required. I don't even know how to do this. There's no inputs and outputs. So they're like, it's fine to use hard-coded things. What are they even wanting? Because really, you should have like a REST API. Like, I guess maybe I can just create a function to do like, the system should support the following. Add a product to the inventory with its name, quantity, and price. 2, update the quantity of a product in the inventory. 3, calculate the total value of the inventory. Find the product with the highest quantity in the inventory. Right, but they don't support, like, this is the thing. They don't actually support input. So if they want me in 16 minutes to parse this, I guess I'm just going to make these functions. Choose an appropriate data structure, implement a function to add a product, implement a function. Oh, okay, this actually is easier. So I guess we have to have a struct that this is all on, or else there won't be the shared state. You know, like we're gonna have to make our own struct. Okay. I'm gonna type some stuff. And I'm gonna talk to the interviewer like I was being interviewed. An AI model will review my code. Oh boy. Okay, so we're gonna do struct. Oh wait, we need a name. Product management. Ooh, that sounds too much like Scrum to me. Too much like Scrum. Okay. I don't know what we're going to have. We'll deal with that in a second. Do we store this in a hash map and then just do a collect on it? A hash map is what feels right to me, because let's see. Our things are to add a new product, update the product. So updating a product by ID would be easy. Okay, yep. To calculate the total value of inventory, that we do a collect on, that would be fine. Implement a function to find the highest quantity in the inventory. So yeah, this, we'll do a hash map. These two we'll have to collect because we're just going to have to iterate over them, right? And then these two we will be supported by the hash map itself, right? All right. Yeah, I like inventory better. Sounds good. Okay, so we need a hash map here. Okay, sorry. I was just thinking through this. We need a hash map here. So we're going to do something like inventory hash map. This is actually pretty good support. I was going to do a using statement, but fine. That's fine. We're fine. What is it? So we actually need another struct up here. Let's do struct. This is inventory item. Yeah. Okay. The item is going to have name, string. Name is string. Gotta go quick here. We've quantity which is we're just going to do an I-32 because hopefully this store doesn't have more than that. And then there's no requirements. Quantity. So that's one thing. If this was a real interviewer, I would be asking them about some requirements for these. Is an I-32 okay? Is, how many, what's the max number that we can have? Those are important things. If you're doing a real interview, and I'm giving you any real interview test advice here, that's the one thing that I would add to this. And sorry, my camera's not on this. They have to be capturing my camera, and I can't show it while that's doing that. So sorry about that. All right. So name, quantity, and then price. We're going to do a I guess we'll do an F64 here. Yeah. I guess that's what we'll do. Whatever. All right. Let's see. In this case, then this can be a type of item. Done. There we go. And then we can do like impl of inventory. All right. Cool. Yeah. I know future F64 isn't the right thing to do there with money, with currency. I understand that. I actually have never done currency in Rust, so I don't know if there's a package or a library to do that. The reason you don't, for just explaining, F64 is a great way to shoot yourself in the foot with rounding errors. And I was going with F64 for really large prices, but you're right. Probably F32 on this case actually is, we're going to go to F32. Anyways, there's a lot of reasons you don't use. Usually there's actually currency structs that you can use, but this is what I have. I'm going with F32. Unless you tell me that there's a built-in something that's better for currency. All right, let's see. We're gonna implement these functions really quickly. So let's see. Add function. Let's see. Add product. I think this is a trick question because it's not snake case, and I know Rust. Snake case, please. So name, string, let's see, what's a quantity, I-32, and then price is a F-32, is it F-32? Please zoom in. Oh, yeah, let me try that. Sorry, this is not my normal. It does not let me zoom in. Oh, there we go. I'm getting the zoom in for you guys. Sorry about that. I can't change any of these borders now, but we're zoomed in. Is that better? All right. All right, let's see. Implement add product. So then we can inventory. I'm just gonna stomp on what's ever there. That's another question because wait. We need a reference to self. Mute ref to self. Let's see. We're you know what? We could just make this item. I don't know why I made this struct and then pass these things in individually. I guess I was thinking of it this way. They were kind of asking for this. So I'm going to leave that the same. Oh my goodness. Okay. So this should be something like name quantity. I don't know. I think this should work because this would work in modern Rust. Like this. Ooh, I can actually run this. See if it has compiler errors. Okay. Mute must be followed by a named binding. Wait. In 16. Is this not right? Is this not how to take a mutable reference to self? Oh, 1 second. It's I'm just staring at this wrong. Sorry. Sorry. Here we go. This should be good, right? Right? It's a reference, a mutable reference to self. Yep. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So let's continue on. This is fine. I haven't put a curly brace. Self.inventory.insert item. 1 second. It's name item. Done. All right. Compiled successfully. Perfect. Okay, so let's see. I only have 5 more minutes. Let's get the rest of these out. So we're just going to copy and paste this. Add product. Let's see. Add product. Update quantity. Let's do this. Update quantity. We just need name and quantity for this. And then basically what we're going to do actually is get rid of this. Do let old equals this. Let mute old equals inventory dot get mute name. Done. All right. And then we can do old dot quantity equals quantity. This is kind of convoluted, right? Yeah, because we don't want to change anything else about it. So then self dot invent, and then we just do this, right? Okay. Is that correct? All right. The IntelliSense is a little rough on this. So yeah, anyways, cool. All right. So then we need to calculate total value. Okay. Which calculate total value and find highest quantity. Both of these don't take anything. Won't need mutable reference. So function calculate total value is like this. And we'll just do that for right now. And then the last one is find highest value. Find highest value. Okay, done. All right. Calculate total value. All we're going to do is let items equal self dot. I need a reference to self up here. My bad. Reference to self. Done. Self dot inventory dot values dot collect. I think that's right. I think that's right. IntelliSense, I need you. All right. It's lying about compiling successfully. Let's see. This is an old version of Rust. Maybe it is lying. What do you see wrong? I feel like I'll copy and paste this and we'll look at it later at the very end. Okay. Okay, so then we have items, self-inventory, collect. Right. I think there's an unwrap here, isn't there? One of these has an unwrap. Is it there? I don't know. Okay, so let's quickly try to do this. For items. Oh gosh. I don't know where the unwraps go. This is going to be a pain because I don't know which of these things off the top of my head. Like, part of me thinks that the values needs to be unwrapped, but it seemed to compile with collect. This was an old, right? 26. Yeah, this is not a current compile, right? Wait. 21. Yeah, this is not a current one, right? Oh no, maybe this is. Okay, why did it say successful? Why did it say successful? I guess the compiling was success. I wasn't even looking at this because because it said successful. All right, self.inventory.get mute name expected reference found a okay. That's fine. I do this one all the time. Yeah. Fair. Oh, I ran out of time. Oh well. Wait. No. Old dot quantity. Oh. Well, I'm out of time. Whatever. I think I spent like the first 5 minutes talking to you guys. It was a fine. Like, the coding wasn't actually terrible. I could have done that. Rust isn't the best thing to Yeah. So when it was saying it was compiled successfully, I was just ignoring the error. It was a real error. For sure. GPT vetting is done. I'm going to go plug my camera back in. I'll be right back. It's good to be back. Yeah, I wonder where that feedback goes. We'll go and see it really quickly. No, it was a little confusing to me because it was saying that it compiled successfully, which now I understand. It compiled it. But it didn't. It didn't compile successfully. It failed. Which is weird. So I don't quite understand, but yeah, you know what? I don't actually disagree with this too much. This was fine. This is a fine, I'm probably not mid-level architect. I'm probably senior here. The SQL, I forgot the group by, so that was my bad. I forgot that. I'm probably mid, but this is a fine take. Rust as junior, probably Rust as junior. I was distracted with that, so like, I could have done better. I could probably do mid. But like this is fine. Kubernetes, I'm probably a senior level at Kubernetes. I don't know what they were asking me to have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to verbally answer complicated questions. Maybe I could do that better. Maybe that's something I could learn to do better on. I'm not experienced at judging hairstyles. What would you know? My custom question was about how I like their hair. I don't understand this grading at all. I don't understand this. But honestly, my soft skills are good. My soft skills are good. That's good. I know, I praised it. I literally praised its hair. It said, "How do you like my hair?" And I praised its hair. I guess that's why I got soft skills as good. Think about it. How do you know the reasoning behind its output? Well, I mean, like, so here we can say, like, again, this was verbal, and I'm usually writing the SQL stuff. I forgot the group by. I forget. Somebody in chat said group by, but chat is like 30 seconds delayed. So if you think about it, whenever you write it, even if I was looking at chat, which I wasn't looking at chat, there's a very good chance that I have missed or like have already done what I did. What you guys are seeing, like it's what you guys are seeing is already happened 30 seconds ago. So I missed the group by in my verbal statement, which I thought that I showed that I understood SQL and how you would do these things. I felt that for what was asked, junior's probably acceptable. I haven't written SQL in a couple of years. Can I do an inner and outer join? Do I know the difference? Yes. They didn't really judge that. I don't know, but I think also some of this was fair. I really did badly at the Rust. So like this is acceptable. I was talking to you guys. I wasn't actually, also I just misunderstood. First, I wasted the first 5 minutes because we were talking about the languages they supported. That got me sidetracked. The second issue that came across is I was misinterpreting when they said compiled successfully. Because when you say compiled successfully, I took that as we compiled it. And I wasn't even looking at the error messages below. So that kind of sucks. So I wasted 5 minutes. I misunderstood some of the stuff. This is fair. I screwed that up. I screwed that up, but it's fine. It's fine. And these are okay. I don't know. I don't know how it came up with mid-level Kubernetes. It's kind of an interesting, how did it judge this? The two questions that it asked containing Kubernetes specific questions. I don't know. I'm interested. Do you know what I want to do? I want to take this exact same test over again and see if I score the same or not. I want to see. So I'll probably do this tonight. I'll do it again with the exact same things. Hopefully it's a different question. Like I'd love for the coding exercise to be different each time. Because if it's not different, that would be terrifying because I just streamed your question. I'm hoping that's AI generated. It was my thought. But who knows? So I'll probably test myself again tonight. Yeah. So I think that the DVD. I have no idea how these were. All I'm saying is my rationale of what I did. This was close. I think honestly that I probably proved Kubernetes senior level because we were talking about stateful sets and how to horizontally scale stuff. And I even specifically brought up like the pod horizontal scaling groups and things like that. So like, I think I was probably teetering probably more on the senior level, but like there was also very little data. I'm not upset by what they put here, I guess is what I'm saying. And so how they came up with it, I have no idea how they came up with it. Yeah. I'm kind of annoyed with the custom question too. Like, the thing is, they didn't even give me a transcript of my response. So me as a person, so like if you put a custom question in there, how do you know that they didn't understand? Like they put not experienced. They obviously didn't even understand the question. This is actually kind of annoying. I agree. Also, the high tone, that was rough. That was rough. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again tonight when I stream tonight. This was a good first try. I'm actually annoyed with myself. I screwed up the Rust part. I was distracted with how old their versions were. My goodness, those versions. When was Go 1.13 released? Yeah. 5 years. Their languages are 5 years old. Both Rust and Go were 5 years old. It was outstanding. They had really old versions. This one, Go specifically, could really trip you up because a 1.13, you're thinking about it. If you're thinking about Go 1.13, Go 1.11. Go 1.11 is where they released the new package management system. So you're almost outside of that. You're outside of generics. You're outside of a lot of new things that have been added to Go. This is a different language they're writing here. Go has changed a lot since this. So has Rust, honestly. So has Rust. Rust probably wouldn't screw with me as much, but this just mark as contacted or archive. There's nothing else there. Oh, I can click on it. Oh, there's a report. Okay. Oh, okay. This is cool. All right, so the first thing that I would do is check my logs. Okay, this is good. They actually transcribed what it was. Okay, I mean, let's be honest here. If I got this instead of a recruiter, I would probably actually prefer this over a recruiter. I probably would. I hate talking to recruiters, to be honest. Now, maybe that's just my bias. Now, again, they need to make it not look like a pre-adolescent teen that has a really high frequency. Like that was super annoying. You know, maybe they think it's only really old people that have lost the high frequency, but that was super annoying. The candidate demonstrated a basic understanding of Rust principles, but struggles with depth in their response. So I don't like this because they did ask Rust specific questions, but their questions were dumb about Rust. Their questions were very canned, like, you're trying to build something that's highly threaded. How would you leverage, and you have 2 minutes to answer this, how would you leverage ownership to make it safe? Well, ownership and its concurrency models and things are the things that do make those things, like, you don't leverage them. They're basic building principles of the language. I actually think their question showed that they were... Rust was probably a bad one. You know, maybe if I do anything here, I'll switch it to Go. Because you know what I'm thinking here is, this wasn't the coding exercise. This wasn't the coding exercise, because the coding exercise could be done in anything. The coding exercise was this. This was the questions, and those questions were garbage questions on Rust. So I'm actually annoyed with this, actually. I'm actually annoyed with this because their questions on Rust were garbage. Now that I think about it a little bit. Illustrating capability to construct queries involving joins and aggregate functions. However, there's a specific SQL syntax. You're asking me, you didn't tell me whether this was Postgres or not, because if you're talking about specific SQL syntax, and detailed explanation of the logic behind the queries, did they want me to go into the indexing and everything? I guess maybe I just misunderstood what they were asking. Maybe. Like I said, I don't work in SQL these days a ton. So maybe I just lack the ability to articulate the implementation details. I don't know. Well, yeah, like, okay, we can review it though. This is good. So like their question, given a scenario where you had a table of employees with columns, ID name, manager ID, where blah, blah, blah. For those who are managers, how would you construct an SQL query to retrieve a list of employees that do not report to anyone? All right, so this is a pretty simple example. Basically, you would just look for, you know what? Maybe they were looking for like select star where, like, did they want me to state the actual syntax verbally, like a select star where employee underscore ID equals, like, did they want me to do that? Maybe that's what they wanted. But this then goes into, because I don't think I said select all employees where the employee IDs. I didn't say like the actual select star where employee underscore ID, or I mean, manager underscore ID equal. Like I didn't do that. And so maybe that's what they were looking. But the transcription also didn't get my full answer either. So maybe they didn't actually understand everything I was saying. Right, so this is a pretty simple example. Basically, you would just look for, you would create a query where you select all employees where they do not have a manager ID. Actually, I did a really good job. It actually removed my ums. So it did a really good job. I think what they're doing is they want a select with manager ID. You know, I said it in English. I didn't actually generate the query, which this is what they're saying. Like the answers provided were more conceptual without delving into specific SQL commands. They wanted the specific SQL commands that I was going to leverage for this. That's fair, but also maybe not fair. You should have asked for specific SQL commands. I guess I said, how would you construct an SQL query? It's just, you have 2 minutes. That's not enough time. And not for me. I haven't used SQL for a while. Whatever. I'm not too hurt. It's fine. They're right. If they were like, we wanted the actual SQL query, I didn't have it off the top of my head in the time. The question should have asked for the query, but I mean, they kind of did. How would you construct a query? I guess when I read how do you construct a query, I think of what are the types of things at a high level. I didn't realize that they were looking for like the query functions and the query columns. Like they probably wanted me to say manager underscore ID column or something like that. That's fine. Whatever. I can do better next time, just reviewing the feedback. Well, I'm looking forward to doing a few more of these. I want to do the same one over again because I actually think I can better answer the AI now that I know how it's asking. Dude, the Rust ones, it was like, given Rust's emphasis on safety and zero-cost abstractions, how would you approach designing a memory-efficient, high-performance data structure in Rust? Discuss your thought process from choosing the right data types and traits to ensuring the data structure aligns with Rust safety guarantees. and efficiency principles. Like, I don't even know what they're saying here. Like, honestly, I failed these questions because I didn't understand what they were asking. Imagine you're tasked with improving the performance of a Rust application that heavily relies on concurrent data processing. Describe how you would leverage Rust ownership. What do you mean? I don't understand what you mean leverage Rust ownership. Do they mean stop copying stuff? Did the previous one copy everything? And so they didn't have ownership? Like, you don't leverage Rust ownership. It's something that's forced on you. I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand Rust well enough to understand this question, but I'm not sure I understood these questions. Right, and then they're asking you to describe this in 2 minutes. Go. Like, that's where it's like, if you wanted a coding example of Rust ownership, that's one thing. I could code out a Rust ownership example. But answering this question is difficult. Like, and I didn't do a good job. I was not prepared for this type of question. And some of interviewing, if you have one takeaway, is preparing. I'm not prepared for an interview I haven't prepared for an interview, period. And streaming an interview is a little bit nerve-wracking, whether you've prepared or not. Just haven't prepared at all. Just completely cold, early morning interview. So some of it is preparing for it. If I was going to interview for Rust, I would be more prepared for some of these things. Was I prepared for those types of questions? No, I wasn't. But I was a bit of a train wreck. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, guys. That was a bit of a train wreck. I'll interview better next time. I need to practice some. Also, that kid was creepy. That kid creeped me out. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'm going to make null bytes of these two things. The first segment that we did this morning was why the null cloud? Why were we building a cloud, which we covered and we talked about. It's going to be a video uploaded on my null bytes channel. You guys can check it out by doing, what can you do to see that? You can do this right here. Oh, I'm sorry if I was ignoring you. I was interviewing. I think this was a while ago, actually. Sorry. I was interviewing. So there's the null bytes. I'm going to release these two videos there. You can see them. But we covered what we're building, the null cloud. I'm going to do an architecture video probably on Thursday morning. I'm going to stream tonight probably as well. But these are like live videos that I wanted to make. And that's it for me today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Hope you guys like the work I'm going to put into